Well, let's talk once again to our two panellists of the night, Will and Jim, but also Beth Tesfaye, because you're one of our 5 guest editors today. I just wonder what you think is really important to young voters. Beth, what is going to get them not only interested, but then also out to vote, which is the big issue?
I think there's a small number of young people who are really politically engaged, and there are issues there, housing, tuition fees, LGBTQ rights. These are things that kind of energize the already politically engaged, but there's a large group of young people who are just totally disinterested in politics, and it's an easy diagnosis, but I'm not sure what the cure would be for that.
No, because I mean they're the target audience, aren't they? It's getting those people who actually aren't interested, don't necessarily understand a great deal about politics, to actually want to have their say.
I think there's a need for a long-term plan, political education within schools. I think there needs to be a big improvement within that, so that people understand that their vote does count, and that politics is about policy, and policy affects people, and we are people, and so that's what is needed.
In terms of how you put together a campaign, Will, in all of this, I mean, how far do these people go down the line and say, well, we need to target this with a grey vote, this with a gay vote, this with a young vote, this with a female vote? Is it that detailed?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Campaigns are based on relentlessly focus grouping policy in regard to large numbers of demographics. I think the issue for young people and the issue for politicians going forward is that if they want to bring young people with them, they have a real job on their hands. My current company, Edelman, do a lot of trust issue data research, and what we found is that while young people are really aware of the issues, they are so fed up with the current path of politics in terms of the way that it's done, that actually when you ask them, would you be engaged in this, would you be prepared to act locally on it, would you be prepared to have political discourse on this, less than 2 in 10 say yes, and that's a real problem.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at how people respond to BuzzFeed articles and things like that, you see it again and again. People want to care strongly, particularly about the sort of issues Beth raised, so social issues, things like that, tuition fees, education costs, all the relevant things. But in terms of, say, making the jump to registering to vote and making sure they go out to vote, that's one challenge. And then the second one is to get people actually involved in party politics. I mean, a lot of people, that's the absolute last thing they'd ever want to do. They'll go on a march, they'll go on a campaign, they'll sign a petition, they'll care deeply about changing something. But the idea of aligning yourself with one particular political party as an activist, Labour's done something to break this mould. I mean, we sort of had that narrative that you were never going to have party membership rising, and then it suddenly shot up. But aside from that, there's not been that many signs that there's been a massive influx of people wanting to get out on the streets and campaign.
And when you ask young people of all political leaders, who do they trust, none of the above generally comes out top.
Yeah, I wonder within all of this, Beth, how you get across the message that young people actually probably count less to politicians because they have a lower voter turnout. And if they want to make themselves more important, they've actually got to get out and vote.
Exactly. I think that's why I say that more political education is needed within schools, for them to know that, you can register to vote, and you have to play the long game.
Okay, Beth, really good to get your thoughts, and Will and Jim will talk to you a little bit later on. But stay with us here on the campaign. Coming up, the Green Manifesto. We speak to the party co-leader, Caroline.